He is considered one of the most influential poets in American history. Whitman incorporated both transcendentalism and realism in his writings and is often called the father of free verse. Walt Whitman has taken a situation, an incident, and has explained the truth of life. In the mystical moist night air and from time to time looked up in perfect silence at the stars. Hello students, I am Anil, Assistant Professor of English, Vidhyaashram First Grade College, the Temple of Excellence, MYSURU. In this session, we are going to look at a poem for BCom 4th semester. In this module, we are going to look at the poet, the poem and its summary. About the poet, Walter Whitman Jr., born in May 1819, was an American poet, essayist and journalist. He is considered one of the most influential poets in American history. Whitman incorporated both transcendentalism and realism in his writings and is often called the father of free verse. His work was controversial in his time, particularly his 1855 poetry collection, Leaves of Grass, which was described by some as obscene for its overt sensuality. So he has written the poem, When I Heard the Learned Astronomer. So let us see what is in this poem. When I heard the learned astronomer, when the proofs, the figures were ranged in columns before me, when I was shown the charts and diagrams to add, divide and measure them, when I, sitting, heard the astronomer where he lectured with much applause in the lecture room, how soon, unaccountable, I became tired and sick, till rising and gliding out, I wandered off by myself in the mystical moist night air and from time to time looked up in perfect silence at the stars. This is the poem written by Walt Whitman. Here he explains his experience when he attended a lecture from a learned man who is an astronomer. What is he trying to convey to the audience? What are his emotions with respect to that situation? What led him to write this poem? Let us see now. This is a short poem of 8 lines. So in 8 lines, he has given a true picture of life. You have to understand what is inside this poem. Walt Whitman has taken a situation, an incident, and has explained the truth of life. So where do you get that truth of life? When I heard a learned astronomer. An astronomer is a man who is connected with celestial bodies, physics particularly, who deals with planets, stars, universe, etc. So this poet goes and attends one of his lectures. In one of his lectures, he finds these things. When I heard the learned astronomer, when the proofs, the figures were ranged in columns before me. This astronomer is giving a talk to the audience and he has all the proofs of university. When somebody talks of university, everybody is having a curiosity. What is universe? How is this planet made? Who is controlling this planet? How are days and nights happening? So we are really interested to know these things. So this man is giving all the curiosity-filled proofs, figures and charts, columns, everything. And everything is laid in front of the audience and the poet is one among the audience. When I was shown the charts and diagrams to add, divide and measure them, so he was teaching how they calculated the distance between sun and earth, earth and moon, earth and different planets, different stars, their intensity, luminosity, their size, etc. He was teaching how to calculate using the equipments available. When I sitting heard the astronomer where he lectured with much applause in the lecture room. So he was inside, he was among the audience. Everybody is clapping. The audience is really surprised. They are appreciating his intelligence, appreciating his display of information, all filled with too much of curiosity. Everybody is interested and audience is clapping for the astronomer. Then suddenly something happened. How soon, unaccountable, I became tired and sick. So when everybody is enjoying, the poet becomes really tired and he became sick of this lecture. He did not want to listen to this elaborated information about the universe. An astronomer who is giving all information. Till rising and gliding out, I wandered off by myself. So he could no longer sit listening to this lecture. So he simply got up. He went out. He glided out and wandered away by himself in the mystical moist night air, and from time to time looked up in perfect silence at the stars. So he went out. The weather was cold. It was in the evening, night. He looked at the stars and he wandered. He looked up the stars. Twinkle, twinkle, little stars. Twinkling, twinkling stars. So he looked up in perfect silence at the stars. There he ends the poem. So what is in this poem? I said it is related to life. How is it related to life? He explains simple concept. If you want to enjoy something, you cannot simply just listen to those words. If you just read this information about some places, a person who visits some places, and you read his or her writing, by doing that, you cannot really enjoy it. But what you should do, you should feel it firsthand. So he says, all the lectures which the astronomer was giving was full of merit. He was a man of physics. He was telling everything with proofs. He was teaching the audience how to calculate, how to know the intensity of stars, planets, gravity, this thing, that thing, everything. But the audience were also feeling happy. But a poet, a man of emotions, how did he feel? He felt it is worthless. He simply got bored. He said, how soon I became unaccountable. I did not care what he was saying. So what should one do? If you learn about rain, you should know what rain is. You should go out and play. You should feel the rain. If you say it is a sunny day, you should go and feel the hotness of the day. What is wind? You should know what wind is. People can explain on videos, but have you felt it? Rain, sun, cold, these things. You should go out and look what it is in actuality. So this is what the poet says. If you are a real human being, you should try to go out and venture. Therefore, with all these things, in 8 lines, he explains everything that one should be doing. This is what he says. When I heard a learned astronomer, you will hear to many people who are very learned. They have their experiences of life. They will share their experiences with you. But what is the use? You just listen to it, you just imagine it. But when are you going to feel it? That is the message in this poem. When I heard the learned astronomer. With all these things in mind, the poet is trying to tell his readers that only the explanations or words, what you hear, they may not satisfy your cravings for experience. So what you should be doing is go out and see it firsthand. That lecture, he does not say that it was bad. It was good. It was full of merit. It was full of proof. But finally what happened? He got bored. Why? Because the man was with emotions. He could not digest it just simply listening to it. Or if you are a very good reader, if you can read about Kashmir, if you can read about Thar Desert, you will just read and imagine things, that's all. But do you know how it really feels? That is what matters. So, with this poem, we come to a conclusion that you have to read, you have to listen. But what is the most important thing? The important thing is you have to feel on your own. See you all in the next class. Thank you.